Hey, movie fans, and welcome back to another episode of the Uncharted Media Podcast. This is episode 173, the one where we couldn't think of anything else to talk about, so we talked about the big movie conference that's happening right now. CinemaCon is happening as we speak, and I mean, like, as we're recording this, I'm refreshing my Twitter just to make sure we don't miss anything big from the Universal panel that's happening right now. So we're just like, there's a lot of stuff coming out of the CinemaCon. We're kind of hearing it secondhand because obviously, we are not at CinemaCon. This is a convention for theater owners and theater pundits, movie pundits, so we're not at that level yet. But there's still some big stuff coming out of this event, so that's what we're going to talk about in discussion. Plus, we've got a just slew of really uber random news this week that I'm kind of intrigued by nonetheless. But Josh, how you doing tonight?
I'm chilling, my dude. I am finally the proud owner of another car.
Finally, yeah.
Finally, it's been almost 4 months, basically, since I've been borrowing my parents' car. So now it's just nice to have the freedom again. Literally brought it home, parked it, was about to start making my dinner because I hadn't looked at my phone yet, and I looked down and said, "You're like, hey, I'm ready, whatever." I was like, oh, I better get up there then. Ah!
You could have eaten. That's fine.
Eating's for the weak.
As we were talking about off mic beforehand, that's something old Josh would have said.
Exactly. Hey man, I've got a monster.
Oh, it's not Bang Energy this time?
It's not Bang Energy. So this is like this flavor of Monster specifically is the Mango Loco. It's a mango juice flavor Monster, and it's peak. It is super good.
So you watching anything good lately?
So unfortunately, I was unable to get to the theaters this weekend, which is really sad because I don't know if anybody watches our YouTube channel.
I was busy.
You were busy this weekend. But no, I really haven't watched much this weekend. Work has been insane, so I have not been able to get to the theater.
But hey, now you have a car for work.
And I have a car to go to the theater whenever I want. So
did you finally pull the trigger on that?
I did, yeah, which is awesome. So I went ahead and picked up A-List because it's going to make it so much easier, and just it's stupid to not, like, for basically $20 for, I think I figured 12 tickets a month. Like that's pretty, even if you don't use all 12 tickets, that's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, I would do that if the theater that I end up going to a lot wasn't a Cinemark. Like, we have an AMC by me, but not like any that are close enough that I would be like, that would be my preferred theater. Like the theater that I go to at City Walk at Universal, I really like that theater, but it's a Cinemark, and Cinemark has the worst membership program. It is, you pay $10 a month and you get a movie ticket a month. And I'm going,
so you pay for a ticket.
So you pay for a ticket, and they're like, but if you don't use it, tickets roll over in the other months. I'm going, so you pay for a ticket. And they're like, you don't have to pay service fees when you buy tickets online. I'm going, oh, so what it should be then. They're like, you get 20% off snacks. So what it was before the pandemic. Gotcha. But like Josh said, I, on the other hand, was very busy this past weekend. Friday was Heather and I's 5-year anniversary, so we went out and got a nice dinner, walked around the parks for a little bit. Then Saturday, Heather was busy, so I went and did The Northman, Josh's most anticipated movie probably like ever, because this is like, if
it looks so good.
If there was ever a movie that was created solely for the mind that is Josh Johnson, it is The Northman. It's as I said in my review, obviously check it out on the channel. Shameless plug. It's Robert Eggers' most accessible movie in terms of like the mainstream audience will be able to watch it, but it's still a Robert Eggers movie. There's still trippy Willem Dafoe stuff. It's also not like John Wick with swords. Don't get me wrong. It's bloody when it wants to be bloody, but don't expect like mile-a-minute throat ripping out. Or unfortunately, there's no blood eagles in this movie, which I thought was kind of bizarre. I'm going, that's the one thing I know about Viking lore because of Scare Zone at Horror Nights. But overall, it's good. I don't think it's my favorite Eggers movie. That probably still goes to the Vavitch. But I think I might have liked it better than The Lighthouse just because I felt sober watching this movie. Um,
that's pretty fair. Lighthouse is a trip and a half.
I've never done drugs, but the Lighthouse, I imagine, is kind of what that's like. Of just going, because when I saw the Lighthouse in theaters, I was the only one in my theater, which made it so much worse. I'm watching it going, and it's in that 4:3 aspect ratio. I see the sides. I'm going, by the end of the movie, going, are they shrinking the aspect ratio? Are the black bars getting bigger or smaller on the side? Am I just losing my mind?
Yes.
Am I becoming a wiki? But The Northman I saw on Saturday, and then on Sunday, Heather really wanted to see this with me, so I waited until Sunday to see it. We saw what up till now is probably my favorite movie of 2022, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, with Nicolas Cage playing Nick Cage. Granted, this movie definitely leans towards the Nick Cage fans. Like, wow, there's some deep cut references here. But being a hardcore Nicolas Cage fan, I loved it. There's some moments that if you know Nicolas Cage's story, it kind of sucks to watch because it's a very meta movie. Heather really loved it too. I don't think she loved it as much as I did, but she really, really enjoyed it. Nicolas Cage and Pedro Pascal have one of the best bromances I've seen in such a long time. And Pedro Pascal has such great comedic facial expressions that I'm just like, The Mandalorian does a disservice to you. You are so funny. There's a scene where they drop acid together. And I have not laughed that hard since 22 Jump Street with You Screwed the Captain's Daughter. Like, oh my gosh. It's so funny. I'm just like, do we think these guys are staring at us? I don't know. Casually look over there. Pedro Pascal just dead stares him in the eyes. Well, now they're staring at us, of course, because you stared at them. Like, it's so stupid. But also, you don't have to be a diehard Nicolas Cage fan to enjoy this. It works as a comedy. My only issue is the last third of the movie kind of just devolves into generic 90s action movie, like all the Nicolas Cage movies that they're making fun of, and it kind of loses that meta humor, but it's still overall really, really great. And almost any Nicolas Cage meme or reference that you're expecting is probably in there, including a certain bee reference makes its way in there at one point. Like, unfortunately, I was the only one in the theater that reacted to that at all. I was like, heck yeah! And then going, oh, y'all are uncivilized and don't get that reference, apparently.
You didn't get that reference. I got that reference.
I understood that reference.
You were the Captain America of that situation. No, I've been meaning to. You can't get out to see it. So. But now that I have my own car, that'll totally be a thing that happens, which is exciting. I'm really glad.
Now you just need days off.
What are days off? I literally today was spent legit preparing for the pod and then going and getting the car, which took 2.5 hours. But that's mostly because I went there to see 3, but anyway. But I'm really happy that both movies seem to be doing well, and they seem to be being received well as well. So because the more people that like Robert Edgar's movies and go see them, the more money that his movies make, the more chance we'll get that he'll get back to his Nosferatu film.
Even he's not sure if that movie's happening now, and it makes me very sad.
Yeah, I agree.
So, are we ready to get into some news, Josh?
Let's do it, my friend.
So I think, more than likely, this is the first time we've ever talked about Fast and Furious on the podcast, and we wouldn't be talking about it if there wasn't some big, serious stuff going down with this movie, because I don't know about you, Josh, I don't care about this franchise, but I kind of care about it now. So
yeah.
So Justin Lin, the director of Fast X, and yes, that's what they're calling it, and not Fast 10 Your Seatbelts, which makes me sad. I know, that would have been great. So Justin Lin has directed a couple of Fast movies in the past. I believe he did Fast 5. They were maybe a little under a week into filming for Fast X when he quit directing the movie. He's going to stay on as a producer, but he has left the project. Normally, I would go, wow, that's weird. But then a video started circulating around the internet that I first saw on Twitter, and I've seen it in some other places. Vin Diesel. It almost looks like Vin Diesel is holding Justin Lin hostage, and he's just like, "Hey, Justin,
Yeah.
this is going to be the best one yet, right? We got the family back together. How's it all coming along?" And Justin Lin is visibly uncomfortable. He's just like, "It'll all come together in the end." And then he's gone now, which I think speaks to a bigger problem that we've kind of seen alluded to by other people before. And that is, Vin Diesel seems like a nightmare to work with. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of The Rock, but we hear nothing but professionalism when it comes to The Rock in terms of a working environment. And if he's butting heads with Vin Diesel, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to take The Rock side of going, he kind of knows when to show up and just do the work and do things a specific way. Whereas Vin Diesel, in his defense, I've always got the sense that he's been very protective of this franchise because it's like his baby, and maybe he wants to like, maybe he sees it as like honoring the legacy of Paul Walker or something. But this is not a good sign. You just lost your director 1 week into filming. Oh, Universal absolutely has to be scrambling to find a director. Like, obviously, I wouldn't be surprised if they had stuff about Fast X that they were going to show at CinemaCon today. But now they can't do that. If anything, they'll be like, we found a director super, super quickly. We found Joe off the street. He is now directing it, which means Vin Diesel shadow directing, which I always kind of get the sense that Vin Diesel shadow directs all of these movies and like gets more power over time. Not gonna lie, this actually kind of makes me more interested in this movie than it was before, just to be like, only one I've seen is Hobbs and Shaw, but if this is the dumpster fire that it might be if the director's piecing out this quickly, I kind of want to see the train wreck. But Josh, you've seen the video. What do you think about Justin Lin, who has been in the Fast franchise for quite a long time now, just up and leaving?
Yeah, it's really like you're totally right. Like if you watch the video, he I don't know if it's like the phrase would be he's being held by hostage or anything like that, but like it looks more like, how do I say this? Somebody's ex who was like chill, or like the friend of who just observed his somebody like do an incredible relationship atrocity and just like look at him and go, yeah, dude, this'll be great. Yeah, absolutely, can't wait. And like that's literally how he's dealing with Vin Diesel in the video. It's super, like, it's uncomfortable, it's cringe. I think the video's like maybe 30 seconds, maybe a minute long, and the amount of discomfort on Justin Lin's face is incredible. And so to hear him exiting this role within a week of filming is not surprising at all. If what the video shows is true, then yeah, like get out of there, bro. I wouldn't be surprised if Vin just goes ahead and takes up the director role. Like I don't understand, if you're gonna shadow direct, at least like just take the credit, bro. Don't pretend to be the guy in charge.
So I'm glad I have my Twitter up as we're doing this live so I can follow along CinemaCon, because a report's now coming out from Variety about Fast X. This is not announced at CinemaCon because, of course, they want to peddle positive news. But according to Variety, Fast X might have to hire a second unit director to finish the movie because hiring a named director would most likely mean script and set changes that would be too expensive for Universal.
What? I just there's gonna be an absolute dumpster fire. Like I will drive to Florida and come to just watch this movie together with you, just because like it is literally going to be watching a train wreck, and I'm so excited for it. You know it's going to be bad when Expendables 4 is probably going to be more entertaining and more coherent storyline than a Fast X movie. Like, gosh, dude, like I think if anything, the past 4 movies, including this one, have shown that Fast X does not, the Fast and Furious series does not take advantage of the great puns and the great storylines that they could take advantage of. So, better luck, best of luck to them, I guess. I don't really hate anybody. I don't even really hate Vin Diesel. Just like, it definitely seems like he's a nightmare to work with.
Yeah,
So,
I
I mean,
see.
who
Even that,
knows?
I'm kind of with you. I think outside the Fast and Furious, Vin Diesel is probably much better to work with. I would not be surprised if like he's just very protective of this, and maybe
Yeah.
I've always got the sense that he interprets these movies different than everyone else. I'm not saying Vin Diesel is Tommy Wiseau, but I think he might think his movies are something different than what they actually are, like Tommy Wiseau. Tommy Wiseau thought The Room was a fantastic drama piece, but in reality, it's a comedy. I think Vin thinks that these movies are the Citizen Kane of action movies, when in reality, they're the Fast and Furious of action movies. Just, it's okay. Embrace what you are. Like, we're going to talk about Hot Wheels here in a little bit. Like, know what you are when you're going into it. You can't make it. It's Fast and Furious. You have the worst right at Universal. You can't change what you are. You are who you choose to be, and you chose what you are a long time ago, back when you stole DVD players.
So what's interesting is, I obviously I've, because of CinemaCon going on, did you hear the, we'll probably end up talking about it, but the Fast and Furious reference dropped in the Shazam trailer?
Yes. Oh my God, the timing of that.
Let's go. That's so funny to me. Just the absolute timing. So it'll be interesting. Like, just, no, everybody's going to go see this movie because everybody wants to watch a train wreck.
Yeah. Now, on the flip side of train wreck is something that is like a train, gathering a lot of momentum very, very quickly, and that's a good thing. And that is the Batgirl movie, which, according to some reports and some insiders, might not be getting an HBO Max release at all. It might be going theatrical. Yeah, boy! I've been speculating on this for quite a while, ever since the current leadership over at Warner Discovery took over. I was like, I wouldn't be surprised if they moved this to theaters. You bring back Michael Keaton's Batman just for a streaming movie? That doesn't sound right.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of things that are rumored to be spun out of this movie. This is supposed to be like the start of a new era. You don't put that on streaming. Plus, this got announced around the exact same time as the Blue Beetle movie. The Blue Beetle movie quickly got upgraded from HBO Max to theaters. Also, while he is not currently at CinemaCon, WarnerBros Discovery chief and fixer of all problems, David Zaslav, is not currently at CinemaCon, but he has said, we absolutely remain committed to the theatrical experience. We're not doing day and date anymore. Our studies have shown putting it in theaters first and then to streaming does significantly better for us. I'm going, wow.
All right. Wow.
Would you look at that? An executive that actually looks at the data and acts accordingly. What a weird concept. He doesn't want to burn bridges. That's so bizarre.
Man. Yeah,
but
crazy.
We've been saying this for a while we've been hyped for this, whether it's because we like the character of Batgirl, or more importantly, the Fraser-sance is happening, and Brendan Fraser is going to be in this, and he's going to be amazing. He's going to roast y'all alive. He's going to be amazing in this. I cannot wait. Or, most importantly, I wanted to be able to see this in theaters so I could scream my head off like the little girl that I am when Robin shows up in a post-credits scene. I refuse to let that go. It's going to happen, and you're going to hear my screams of joy no matter where you live in the world. Like, Robin, by Dylan O'Brien, is going to show up in Batgirl. Mark my words. But unfortunately, if this is going to theaters, it's gonna have to be delayed, isn't it? Because we've got Keaton's Batman, and we don't get Keaton's Batman until the Flash movie, the one that should be moved to HBO Max or just outright canceled, because Ezra Miller is a scum human being that needs help whether they want to or not. But you kind of need to explain why Keaton's our Batman now, so this cannot come out until The Flash. But Josh, you see Batgirl's coming to theaters. Good choice, bad choice. Where's your anticipation level for the Batgirl?
Well, I think you and I are always of the mind that good content, all the better content needs to go to the theaters, and I think superhero content, especially, it's gonna be better in a theater. When you have a big scope, you need a big screen. So like I wouldn't be surprised. I think especially with this Discovery merger and them relooking at a lot of things, it honestly doesn't make sense to make Blue Beetle in theaters and Batgirl on HBO. Just make them both theaters. I think it makes the most sense. Uh, so that way you don't have certain aspects of your story locked behind a subscription paywall. Everybody's has the same opportunity to see the same story, because the last thing you want to do obviously is put your fans in a position into where they have to go subscribe to your service in order to follow the nitty-gritty of the overarching canon. I say that knowing that some of the best Marvel stories told in the last 5 years have been on Disney Plus, but at the same time, like it's a little different, I think, because they're farther into the game. They're a good decade into it, and so they can do that. Whereas if you're going to build your universe from the ground up, I think you have to have everything in theaters first.
Yeah, it just makes sense to move this to theaters because they're having such good luck with theatrical releases for superhero stuff. Like the Batman has just been crushing it for them. The Batman has been crushing it on HBO Max. Like it's the second most viewed thing in its debut weekend ever, behind only Mortal Kombat. And I think that's more just because people didn't want to spend the money in theaters to see Mortal Kombat. But my hype level has definitely been growing for this. I like but don't love the character Batgirl. She's fine. I enjoy her enough. It's also could be I like her by proximity to certain other characters that she's very much connected to. And after seeing In the Heights, I'm very excited to see what Leslie Grace brings to the table. While I didn't love In the Heights, I really liked her character, and I think she'll be a great Batgirl. This is a smart move. WarnerBros Discovery seems to be in the business of making smart moves. Now make the smart move and get rid of Ezra frickin' Miller. They are a very dangerous individual who's going to end up truly hurting someone if they don't get help soon. And honestly, I know you've poured a lot of money in The Flash. Recast, reshoot, release.
We'll talk about it a bit later, how he's mysteriously absent from all of the material. But yeah, I think I agree though. It's the smart move to bring Batgirl to the big screen.
So it's been a while since we had a truly WTF news headline, and I think this qualifies. Also, it's kind of ironic because not too long ago, I feel like if I didn't say it in the podcast, I've been saying it to a lot of people around me. Whatever happened to that $500 million deal that J.J. Abrams signed with Warner Brothers? Well, good to know Warner Brothers is putting that money to good use here, as J.J. Abrams and Bad Robot are producing a Hot Wheels movie. Guys, I don't think you spend $500 million on J.J. Abrams and Bad Robot to make Hot Wheels movies. It's secretly a Need for Speed sequel, and J.J. Abrams is going to play Aaron Paul's character this time around. It's just weird to me. Like, do people still play with Hot Wheels? Is that still a thing?
Yes.
Am I just that out of touch? Like, I know there's always going to be a Hot Wheels aisle in Walmart, Target, or any other toy store, but I'm just like, Hot Wheels.
Yeah.
So we've got the other McDonald's toy getting a movie with Barbie, so Hot Wheels, I guess, gets a movie too. But the thing is, Barbie's a person. Are we going the Cars route with this? Are we going the Need for Speed route with this? Oh God, Warner Brothers wants their own Fast X, don't they? That's what's happening here. Jason Momoa is in Fast X. He's going to be in Hot Wheels. It's all coming together. It's a crossover of epic proportions. Fast Hot Wheels. X.
No. This will be interesting because I think the potential of this is going to depend on what story they're going to tell. Like you said, are they going the Cars route? Are we going like a speed racer route? I'd be so down for for another like speed racer type movie with like different kinds of cars, and if it happens to be Hot Wheels involved, fine, I'm all right with that. Sure. The other thing the only other thing I can think of, and again, I don't know why you would have J.J. Abrams doing the project.
He's just producing, but yeah, still
would be a Hot Wheels not biopic, but like what they did for McDonald's, something like that, the creation of Hot Wheels, because like there's a pretty fascinating story behind it. So, I mean, I don't know if it warrants a film, but who knows? So I think there's options there, but I agree of like, was this really why you hired JJ? Why do I get the feeling that JJ was like, this is something JJ wants to do, and they're like, all right, cool. So you can do this if you then also do this project over here for us. And so he's like, yeah, cool, but I'm gonna do Hot Wheels first.
Yeah, it's like, I want to use actual Hot Wheels. It's going to be a stop motion movie. I'm going to use my Super 8 camera, because remember, everyone, I made the movie Super 8. Shouldn't you be proud of me for that? It's one of my few original movies. Just kidding, Chicha. I love your movies. I really do. But this just feels odd to me. Like, I mean, maybe it is about the creation of Hot Wheels. I think that'd be cool. I would laugh, though, if it's going to get the Barbie treatment of, like, we expect it to be one thing, but then they actually dump a crap ton of genuine talent behind it. Like, we'll talk about Barbie here later in the discussion, but Barbie stars Margot Robbie, Simu Liu, Will Ferrell, a whole bunch of other famous people, directed by Greta Gerwig, like Academy Award nominated Greta Gerwig. So what if they get, like, Marriage Story's Noah Baumbach to direct Hot Wheels as on the flip side of that, or
Bro.
Denny Villeneuve's Hot Wheels, or
God,
like, what if they put
starring
like actual...
Timothée Chalamet? He's in everything, my dude. Why not?
Wait a second.
Yeah, there we go. Feeding that brain blast. Let's go.
I mean, obviously we mentioned earlier, but I could actually kind of see Timothée Chalamet as the main kid from Speed Racer.
Mm-hmm. Dude. And look, people can talk crap about the Speed Racer movie by the Wachowskis all they want. It is as faithful as you're gonna get.
Yeah.
Like, it is wacky and weird, and the camera angles are wild, but gosh, is it a good time. And I am totally, absolutely down for a Hot Wheels version of that. I'm just like imagining like humans racing like a Hot Wheels track, complete with like the loop-de-loop and like a giant T-Rex that tries to smash the track. You know what I mean? Like that could be. There's potential to be fun. It depends on who the audience would be.
True. Like maybe we can get. I know he's going to be busy with Deadpool, but maybe we can get the guy that did Free Guy and Real Steel, because we all thought Real Steel was just going to be Rock'em Sock'em Robots, and that ended up being one of the most underrated family movies of all time, and it's so good. So maybe it would be something like that. Sean Levy is the guy's name. So who knows? I won't completely write this off yet, because again, 2014, we got some movie with terrible trailers, and we all thought was just going to be a cash grab called The Lego Movie, and that is still one of the best movies ever made. You can never change my mind on that. Also, a quick side tangent, speaking of best movies ever made, apparently after seeing The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, I have to go watch both Paddington movies, because Paddington 2 is one of Pedro Pascal's favorite movies. That clip is so funny.
It's hilarious. And like, I guess that's been out there already, but like, that's already been a thing that people have been saying, but like, gosh, all right, cool. I forget the same director is doing
Wonka.
He's doing some Wonka, that's right. And so it's like, all right, well, I guess we have to check this out.
So that probably has to be one of my favorite graphics I've ever done, because bring out your dead, bring out your dead. Netflix suffers massive collapse. So basically, not too far off, actually. So Netflix just posted their Q1 earnings, and it's not good, guys. They lost like 200,000 subscribers in Q1 alone, and their stock took a massive hit. This is what happens when you spend more than you have for over a decade. It's fine to spend a lot of money on programming. A lot of streaming services spend a lot of money. Discovery spends a lot of money. Granted, not as much as everyone else. Disney Plus, Netflix, Amazon. The important thing to pay attention to, though, when comparing Netflix to Amazon or Disney Plus, is those other companies have other forms of revenue. The streaming platform is just one of them. Amazon could probably close down Prime Video today. And sure, their stock would take a little bit of hit, but they're going to be just fine. They still have, the rest of the world that they own. Or Disney, like, they could shut down Disney Plus. It would take a massive hit for them, but they still have the parks. They still have the theatrical released movies. They still have tons of merchandise. Netflix, this is all they have, is the streaming platform. Yes, they have gaming coming around the corner, but I would not put my eggs in that basket, because Xbox has their streaming service now. PlayStation has their attempt at a streaming service. It's still kind of disappointing, to say the least. And they're kind of force you to get that, because their PlayStation Plus games have been booty for the past several months, and May is no different. Josh and I have lamented the future of Netflix for a long time, and I know a lot of people have just been like, oh, really? I didn't realize Netflix was in trouble. No, the signs have been there for a while. I've talked to so many people that don't realize how screwed Netflix is. It's like, yes, just because you know the name Netflix doesn't mean they're a healthy company. There's a reason why their shows don't last for more than 3 or 4 seasons, because that would require paying their actors more. So in response to their massive stock drop and people canceling left, right, and center, they're doing 2 separate things. They're cutting back on their animation department, from some stuff some stuff I've seen, almost cutting it out basically completely, which is a horrendous idea. And then almost just as bad is introducing an ad-supported tier, which is, it's almost a sign of desperation. Like HBO Max did it not too long ago, because those numbers were not what they were expecting. I think it's different when you introduce it from the get-go. Like Peacock has one with ads, or Hulu has one with ads, but those were built specifically with an ad-supported version in mind. I don't expect Netflix to be the powerhouse that it is within 10 years. We've been saying that for a while, but it's now other big places are catching on. Just because you're the first to do something doesn't mean you're going to be the top dog forever. And that's the case here, I think.
Oh, and they really just haven't diversified. I saw a comparison into the whole situation between the difference between the rise of Netflix and the death of Blockbuster. Netflix was able to adapt. They saw that people were going to be moving to streaming, and so they did so. And their DVD stuff is virtually non-existent anymore. Now, with that being said, they've never done anything since then that would make them adapt to the game. To me, I've got a few easy fixes in my mind. First of all, doing the ad tier, stupid. Who's gonna, in their right mind, pay less for ads on Netflix? No one, especially on a format that they already have free no ads on. Like, no, screw you. I think cutting back on your animation department is I agree, is absolutely the worst idea, because some of your best shows are in your animation department. So that's stupid. To me, the thing that you need to do, and obviously you'll have to spend some money, but I think they would end up making more money because of it. And
they the Narnia stuff.
Well, I think take your Netflix shows that are really popular and put them on DVD Blu-ray and sell them from your site. That, I think Netflix is severely underestimating the value of their shows on a physical copy.
God, I would pay. I have Haunting of Hill House on a DVD just so I could get like the director's commentary and the behind the scenes stuff on stuff. God, I would pay everything in my wallet for a 4K physical copy of Hill House or Stranger Things or God, even a physical release of Hush. Like where is that? I hadn't even thought about physical releases, but make them available to purchase someplace else. I know you want exclusivity on Netflix, but having a buying option is probably not a bad idea. I know you and I have also talked about it, of another solution that they should and probably will do, and I absolutely see them testing the water with Stranger Things season 4. Weekly releases. Like that one's just so easy. I know Netflix like prides themselves on creating a bingeable culture, but binging has been proven to not keep and retain your audience nearly as long. Like Moon Knight is doing gangbuster numbers right now because of its weekly release, or any Disney Plus show because of its weekly release. Mark my words, Obi-Wan is going to have huge numbers. It's because people can build up an audience over time. Like Stranger Things is going to be everywhere when it first drops at the end of May and the beginning of June. But by the end of June, I guarantee you more people are going to be talking about Obi-Wan come June or July because they'll be watching it over the course of a month, not the course of a weekend. That builds up your audience's retention.
Yes.
And I think that's one of the reasons why they split up Stranger Things. One, to finish up the visual effects, and two, I think they will test this. They did it last year with the Fear Street trilogy, releasing 3 movies back to back to back. I think that's a smart idea. You retain people better. Also, novel concept, don't spend so much money on your content. As much as I'm looking forward to Stranger Things season 4, did they need to spend $30 million per episode?
No.
Like, guys, who's going to pay for that? Just because you kick it further down the street, you still have to pay for it eventually. Like, okay, cut your budget and put that money that you were going to spend on an actual marketing department. Not, hey, we should let everyone know on Facebook and Twitter, like, the week before this thing comes out, and then never mention it again. I can't tell you how many times I was scrolling through Twitter and then I see the Netflix Twitter account just retweet somebody going, oh gosh, I love this show that I've never heard of, that it just dropped that day, and then that's about the extent of the advertising that they do for anything not named Cobra Kai or Stranger Things or The Witcher.
Yep.
Like, this is what happens when you don't advertise.
Dude. But, like, think about that. Like, if you can get, like, a steelbook version of Witcher for every season. Oh, bro, are you kidding me? I'd pay so much. Having a physical copy of seasons 1 and 2 of Altered Carbon. Oh, yes, please. There's, to me, that is such an untapped, like, avenue where they're just not. Imagine if you got a physical copy of all of Cobra Kai. Like with a pamphlet with all this other stuff on it. Like, there's just so much content on Netflix, and I think a lot of people have started to unsubscribe because at this point it's only Netflix content. And as much as I would love to watch stuff on your streaming service, if all you have is the stuff that you've made today these days, that's not enough.
Yeah, and also when your stuff is so spotty, like, you've got some truly great stuff, but you also have some truly awful stuff. Like, they're always chasing trends for better, for worse. Just just have a plan and stick to it. Just because you were the first out of the gate and you're the big name, just because you're the king on the throne doesn't mean there aren't people still trying to chop off your head at some point. Like, you cannot be complacent. They have eaten too much at the king's table that the servant has gotten big and strong and is ready to cut off the king's head. That worked out way better than I thought it would. But Disney Plus, they're building up that muscle. They're lifting up the sword as we speak. Prime is dragging their feet, but Prime has the money to bankroll their way to success. they're that rich kid that just becomes huge on YouTube because their parents paid for everything and all the advertising. And then don't overlook the big frickin' dragon that's about to breathe fire down your neck, which is the HBO Max Discovery merger. That mega app, whatever that ends up being, that will be a freaking powerhouse. Especially now it's, going to be run by competent people. Netflix has been sitting on their laurels for too long, and it's now going to come back to bite them in the butt. And I don't really feel bad for them. Also, maybe stop raising your prices every 4 months.
So they could also make some money back real quick by selling some of the IPs they've collected. Whatever.
It's funny you say IPs. It's funny you say that because, again, by the time we release this podcast episode, it could be way out of date. But if you've listened to this podcast for any length of time, my lifeblood is Halloween Horror Nights. And one of the rumors for this year was, in the first speculation map, it was Fear Street. Cool, that makes sense. There's a Netflix relationship. The second one swapped out Fear Street for Stranger Things, because that makes sense too, because there's a new season. Now the scuttlebutt online is that Netflix might not have a presence at Horror Nights at all this year. And I'm going,
interesting.
But you need that money. It's money for you. Universal would be using your IP. What are you doing? I'm not saying I need Stranger Things or want Fear Street to come this year, but I'm going, Netflix, you've had this relationship. What are you doing?
Yeah.
This is money that you want. This is money that you need right now. People go line up for 2.5 hours for your Stranger Things houses. What? Why? But then again, it's Netflix, so I'm not surprised, and they do stupid stuff.
Yeah. So, to me, it's that kind of stuff. Like, okay, yeah, they should be, loaning out that IP. They should sell Magic Treehouse and Redwall to somebody that's going to use them.
Oh, yep. There's only a matter of time before Redwall got brought up.
Yeah, well, obviously, but still,
because they're furry animal people.
Just sell copies.
Redwall is where it started, people.
I hate you so much.
Well, as per usual, this episode is sponsored by TeePublic, your one-stop shop for all your Uncharted media needs, where you can get hoodies, t-shirts, mugs, stickers, anything you want with the Uncharted media logo on it. Support the show that way. We've got a whole bunch of fun designs that you can check out. Now, CinemaCon is here, and there's been some good, some confusing, and some surprising by their absence more than anything else. So we're going to kind of break this down. Now, we bring this up because CinemaCon is still going on as we speak. We're recording this Wednesday night. There's still Thursday stuff. Paramount has a presentation, and I think somebody else has a presentation on Thursday. We can't wait that long, so we're cutting it off. So we're going to go over what Sony presented, what Warner Bros. Presented, what Disney presented, and what Universal has presented. At least in terms of, since we're not there, the important stuff that we think you guys should know secondhand, like basically what we've collated through, people are like, this is what we're allowed to post. Because CinemaCon, for those that don't know, is basically like, they basically present stuff to movie theater owners to be like, hey, we're friends. We didn't try and do day and date releases to completely screw you over and give us more money as studios. CinemaCon is basically, it's not for fans. It is for theater owners to basically see what's coming next to further affirm the relationship between the studios and the theaters. So it's very secretive. It's very much closed doors, but news comes out, but footage typically does not, which is a lot of what we got. So we'll just go in order. We'll start with Sony, which honestly, going over everything that I've been following it all week, Sony so far has the best presentation of everything I've heard, and they released the most amount of stuff. Warner Bros. Is the most disappointing. Disney showed the most stuff, which means they didn't have a lot of news to tell. They just showed people in the audience. And Universal looks like just wrapped up, and there was some stuff that to be gleaned there. A lot of good horror stuff. So we'll start with Sony. Start with the bad. We already knew that they delayed Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse to 2023. That sucks. But after hearing them, holy crap, I completely understand, and take your time, because Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse has over 1,000 animators working on this movie. The first Spider-Verse, Into the Spider-Verse, had 40 characters. Across the Spider-Verse will have 240 characters, with 1,000 editors working on this, and they will go across 6 different multiverses, so 6 universes, and I'm going,
dang, dude.
oh, you ain't messing around here.
Yeah.
And lastly, it's no longer called Across the Spider-Verse Part 1 and Part 2. It is now Across the Spider-Verse, no parts, and the third part in this trilogy is going to be called Beyond the Spider-Verse, to which I'm just going, oh, so we're going to be going live action, like I said, not even 2 weeks ago, and I'm going, ha! Which, I mean, it was interesting that Sony said nothing about the Tom Holland movies at all. So whether they're still ironing out those details with Marvel, who will talk about Marvel later, because they're up to some stuff. Why is it always you three, in the words of Harry Potter? I did think it was interesting that they didn't bring up anything about Tom Holland, but maybe it's because he's somehow tied into these Spider-Verse movies, and I would not be surprised at all if at the end of Beyond the Spider-Verse we finally get a live-action Miles. God, just put live-action Miles as the Venomverse Spider-Man. Just, that fixes your problem there.
Yeah, especially with the rumors coming out that they offered it to Andrew, and he was like, no, I'm good.
Which is very worrying.
Yeah, but see, like, at the same time, he probably saw Morbius.
Well, no, he probably heard about the Bad Bunny stuff.
Okay, so let's talk about Bad Bunny stuff. Okay,
I'm not mad that it's Bad Bunny. I'll say that.
Of all the things, okay, so go ahead, tell us the story that they dropped, and then we'll discuss it.
So Sony decided, you know what we need? Another villain origin movie to set up a potential Sinister Six movie. And we're going to have Bad Bunny, one of the most streamed musical artists out there right now, and part-time wrestler in WWE, and a darn good wrestler, actually. He's going to be playing El Muerto, a wrestler with superpowers that got beat up by Spider-Man once. And I'm going, oh, why? Did you just, like, randomly draw a couple names? I'm worried that there's like, ooh, Bad Bunny is great for us in Bullet Train, which looks awesome, by the way.
Yes,
I'm worried they're like, oh, he was great in this. Is there any characters that he could potentially be in a Spider-Man movie for us? Because looking at the direction of the Sony-verse movies, why don't they just call it the Sony-verse? That's so much easier. Looking at the direction of the Sony-verse movies, oh God, I'm concerned, like, so much. And they were touting it. They're like, El Muerto is the first Sony Spider-Man movie to have a Latino actor as the lead. I'm going, that's cool, but why El Muerto? Like, you do realize you have Into the Spider-Verse, you have a character, Spider-Man 2099, who is Hispanic. Make him your spot. Just, why El Muerto? Why? They're like, it's the first Hispanic superhero movie. That's cool, but you have an actual Hispanic Spider-Man with 2099. Or if you wanted some cultural diversity besides just Hispanic culture, if you wanted half Puerto Rican, half African American, you have someone called Miles Morales right there. Like,
yeah,
was Miles not racially diverse enough for you in Into the Spider-Verse? Or do you not count it because it's an animated movie, in which case you backhanding your own studio? Like, why El Muerto? My issue, again, is not Bad Bunny. I have not seen him as an actor. If it is anything to go by seeing his WWE matches, he puts in a lot of time and effort and respects the craft of what he's doing enough. Like, he's put on 2 matches in WWE, at least 2, I believe. Both times, pleasantly surprised by what he brings to the table. Like, clearly put in the work. So I would not be surprised if he puts in the work as an actor. But El Muerto, a character that has barely any Spider-Man appearances. Like, it's not even C or D level Spider-Man. This is like Z level Spider-Man. Like, he's barely had any
Yeah.
appearances. This just feels like, okay, Bad Bunny wants to make a Spider-Man movie. Do we have any Hispanic supervillains that he can add to the Sinister Six? Which, getting back to the Sinister Six thing. Oh boy. Ever since I was a kid, I have not wanted anything more in a Spider-Man movie than Spider-Man to fight the Sinister Six. I am worried that they want to make the Sinister Six its own movie with or without Spider-Man and make it either like their Avengers or their Suicide Squad. And I don't care who is in the Sinister Six so long as there are 6 of them. I am very worried after Morbius that it'll be like Morbius, Vulture, which makes no sense how Vulture has his stuff, Kraven the Hunter, El Muerto, and I'm sure they'll throw in maybe like Black Cat or somebody, and Venom, to which I'm going, that is not the Sinister Six I know and love.
No, yeah.
Vulture and Kraven, sure, because they actually somehow have a connection to Spider-Man. Morbius doesn't have a connection to Spider-Man. Even Venom technically doesn't have a connection to Spider-Man. In this universe, at least, he doesn't. Like, they just want a Sinister Six movie, but they don't care how to get there. And it makes me sad, because I'd rather Spider-Man face the Sinister Six in the MCU, where I know that they'll put actual story and context to everything, and, you know, a personal relationship with Spider-Man, because it's not like that's the whole crux of why the Sinister Six exist at all. Like, it's so troubling that I've seen all the people talk about the Morbius post-credit scene. Spoiler alert here, guys. That at the end of No Way Home, Vulture ends up in Morbius's universe, which, I'm sorry, but I thought in No Way Home, the spell makes all the villains go back to their respective universes. So why would Vulture leave at all? He has nowhere to go. Mm-hmm. He's already in his own universe. And also, of all the Spider-Man villains in the MCU so far, the Vulture has the least amount of beef with Spider-Man. He squashed that beef. Like, he doesn't have beef with him anymore. He's like, dude saved my life, protected my daughter. I don't have any issue with him anymore. So why does he want to kill Spider-Man in this universe? Or why, when he's sent to another dimension, does he automatically assume Spider-Man did it? Like, oh, I'm sorry, did Spider-Man beat you with magic the first time that you automatically assume that it was him? There's so many issues that I have with this, and Morbius, you know, just being a bad movie. How is it that with each passing generation of Spider-Man, whether it's Tobey, Andrew, Tom, the Sony problems get worse and worse. Like, Spider-Man 3, bad, but as I get older, I don't hate it nearly as much as some other people do. Amazing Spider-Man 2 is a dumpster fire because they kept trying to jam in a whole bunch of random stuff, whether it belonged there or not. Amazing Spider-Man 3 was going to be bonkers. Gwen Stacy and Captain Stacy were going to be brought back with some magic blood or whatever else. And now this. Let's throw together a Sinister Six who actually have no connection to Spider-Man whatsoever. And we're going to have El Muerto. Like, is this Kevin Feige stepping in and saying, okay, we'll team up with you, but these are the Spider-Man villains you cannot use because we want to use them at some point with Tom? Like, is that what's going on here? And Sony has to scrape the bottom of the barrel going, El Muerto, let's use him. Or they just be like, oh, Bad Bunny had some WrestleMania matches. Is there a Spider-Man villain that wrestles? I would actually be less mad if he was playing Crusher Hogan right now. But he's playing El Muerto. If he was playing Crusher Hogan and he was the wrestler that Spider-Man fought, I actually would love that. Let's just change that now. Just make that deep cut reference, because Crusher Hogan technically is canon in the MCU because there's a sign about him behind Happy in Far From Home. Yes, I sweat the details that much. What are you doing, Sony? I hand it back to Josh.
I mean, but like, I got nothing else to say on that, because you're hitting the nail right on the head. I think the thing that makes it even worse is I've watched a couple breakdowns of the comic, the only comic that El Muerto shows up in. And technically, he's not even a bad guy. Like, technically, he's like, he's labeled bad because, like his mask and his powers come from a demon, and like that he runs and from like passing the mask on, and that gets his dad killed. It's all kinds of stupid stuff. Like I just don't. He's not a villain. He's a lot like, oh no, he's a lot like Morbius, where he's this like quote unquote sympathetic guy who is not quote unquote evil, but has bad qualities about him, which is like, that's not an anti-hero, guys. Like that's not how that works. Like, no, like what? That's just a bad dude.
Let's also not forget about the Madam Web movie, which makes me really nervous that Madam Web might be the one that connects everyone. Like, don't get me wrong, Dakota Johnson's a phenomenal actress, but I'm worried Madam Web will be like the leader of the Sinister Six, knowing Sony's tendencies. And they'll bring back Paul Giamatti's Rhino, and just, I'm worried. They also announced that Venom 3 is in development. I'm going, how far have we come that Venom is the crown jewel of this universe, and Venom is the good ones? Like, the first one's not great, but I can at least have fun with Venom. God, the Venom movies are like Citizen Kane to the rest of what they're planning. Like, at least those are fun, and they are loosely connected to Spider-Man somewhat. Like, at least they know what they are. These other ones, I'm so concerned about. But at least Sony closed out their presentation with some darn good news. It's not surprising, but it's good nonetheless, that a new Ghostbusters movie is in development. Now, they didn't specify whether this would be a sequel to Afterlife, which I'd assume it is, or if it'll be like the main core cast. Because, I mean, like, mild spoiler alert, but the core cast, the living cast of the original Ghostbusters, does have an appearance in Ghostbusters Afterlife, and it's used very effectively. But for the most part, Afterlife is about the new cast. McKenna Grace, Finn Wolfhard, Podcast. I don't know Podcast's actor's real name, but Podcast was the best thing about Ghostbusters Afterlife. He is fantastic, and I want him on our podcast. We will steal him away. So I would hope it's a continuation of Afterlife, and it's more integration with the old cast and the new cast. I think it'd be super, super cool. Make Paul Rudd a Ghostbuster this time around would be super cool.
Yeah.
But most importantly, more than anything else, if we're getting another Ghostbusters, it just leaves the door that much more open for the return of our Lord and Savior. Rick Moranis can come back! Rick Moranis can come back for another Ghostbusters. He wasn't in Ghostbusters Afterlife, but he's coming with Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, the new one with Josh Gad, which Disney didn't talk about because I think that's going to streaming. But Rick Moranis is slowly coming back into acting. I know he turned down Ghostbusters Afterlife, but now that his other friends are here, the Ghostbusters are going to need Louis Tully to help file the taxes for them. They're gonna need all the OGs they can get. I just would love a scene with Paul Rudd and Louis Tully. Those two characters I think would just fit too well. Or just him with anybody. Like, see Louis Tully with McKenna Grace's character. I want more scenes of Dan Aykroyd and Podcast.
Yes.
Dan Aykroyd, who is normally crazy in real life, he worked so well with Podcasts. He's like, you're my one listener? Yeah. It's just so heartwarming. I really, really enjoyed Ghostbusters Afterlife, which is funny considering I don't particularly care for the original Ghostbusters all that much. Yeah. And I'll die on that hill that most of them are terrible people, especially Bill Murray, who, just got fired off a movie for not being a great person. It's about time we actually, held him accountable for being a dick.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. I'm excited about it. I still need to see Afterlife.
Oh, it's so good. You'll really enjoy it.
I know I will.
It's got Power Rangers / Stranger Things vibes.
Which is all I need, because, gosh, I know I love Power Rangers, and I know the Krispy Kreme thing was annoying, but, that was such a good time. Come on. What else would happen in a Power Rangers movie? Well, we have this galactic thing, and we hit it into Krispy Kreme.
And then they tease us with Tommy, and then don't actually make a sequel. I'm still mad about that.
Oh, it's so stupid. Oh my gosh. I mean, they would have found a way to make him be able to play flute on his dagger through his helmet. They would have found a way, and I would have been so down for it. Uh, but that being said, yeah, like another Ghostbusters, totally. I think it will be important to me to not just cut the cast from Afterlife and go about your business with the new one, with the old guys, which is because I think if you're going to build this into a franchise, we have to have the characters from the first movie as your core characters, and then these the OG Ghostbusters just be icing on the cake, because it just feels like, haha, we made this movie so that we can get back, so we can get our jobs back. Like, that's just kind of like, that's weird. I don't like that.
Well, that's never been the case with Ghostbusters, because,
yeah,
they don't want to come back. They've never want. Bill Murray has just been like, no, I don't want to come back at all.
He'll make a Garfield 3 before he comes back.
I wouldn't be surprised. Oh gosh, no. Chris Pratt is being Garfield. Remember? That burden has been passed to another. That curse has been lifted from Murray, and he's going to somebody else.
Wait, what? Hold on. How did I miss that?
Yeah, Chris Pine, he was going to be not Chris Pine. Chris Pratt is voicing both Mario and Garfield.
I'm going to need a second to process that.
Yeah, we're going to start calling him Mario Mondays.
All right, let's move on to the Warner Bros. Recap, because I do not like that at all.
I'm not gonna lie. I was kind of disappointed with the Warner Brothers one, because I was expecting more like actual news. They showed a lot of stuff for the people there. Naturally, they didn't address the Ezra Miller situation at all. And when they talked about The Flash, they're just like, The Flash, starring Michael Keaton, Sacha Kaye, Ben Affleck. And we're like, really? Aren't you forgetting a name? They're like, nope, not at all. No, we're not. Grant Gustin might cameo in this movie. Nope, that's not who we're talking about. So that's very concerning that WB would rather just stick their head in the sand and go, we don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But kicking off the Warner Brothers panel was the least surprising news ever, but a surprise cameo nonetheless, and that is Matt Reeves showed up to basically announce, hey, we're doing the Batman 2, which, I mean, that just seemed like a no-brainer, but now it's officially on record. They didn't give a time frame of when it'll come out, but my guess would be 2025, probably, because 2024 just seems like a really quick turnaround. I know he's been floating some ideas around out there, like Mr. Freeze and whatnot, but 2025, I think, would be my time frame of when I think would be maybe like an April 2025 release. And he did come out and say everyone's coming back, at least crew-wise, and Battinson. We don't know about like Penguin or Selena Kyle, but I'd probably say Penguin. That's all they really said was, we're doing the Batman 2, and Robert Pattinson's coming back, to which that just made me laugh of going, oh, so all those quote-unquote scoopers that said Matt Reeves and Robert Pattinson hated each other and would only do this one movie together and then quickly part ways, you mean to tell me that they were wrong about something? And they were, you mean they were just peddling animosity just for clicks? I've never heard of that within the DC fandom before. But
or the movie fandom and like the movie news realm at all.
But specifically with DC, I feel like that happens a lot with a whole bunch of people like will start spreading any form of rumors that might just go, no, I need the clicks. I don't actually have enough intelligence and competent speaking ability or news journalism to come up with my own stories. So I'm just going to clickbait you all. But I think the really important question and the big takeaways with the Batman is, cool, we're getting a sequel. Now, when is Robin coming? Dang it! We know it's coming. I don't care who your villain is, unless it's the Court of Owls, in which case I care very, very deeply. But when is Robin coming? I know some people are like, it's still too early. No, you're too early. Everything's too early, except for Robin's appearance. It's way late. We need him now. Robin is the savior of the DCEU, even more so than Batman. Robin is the good thing in all of life. We need him. We need Dick. Grayson in everything. If we don't get him in Batgirl, he better be in the sequel.
Bro, I'm gonna laugh so hard when they go straight to Tim.
No, see, if they went straight to Tim, I would hate it less than what some other ideas are out there that stupid fans are throwing out there. They'd be like, well, they could just merge the characters of Dick and Jason and make Dick be the one that dies, and he comes back to life and is Red Hood. I'm going,
Stop.
Were you dropped on your head as a child? We don't need Dick Todd or Jason Grayson.
Dick Todd. I don't know why. It's like the Amber Turd. That just makes me laugh so much.
No, I like Dick Todd more.
Yeah. Oh man, but yeah, like Robin's definitely around the bend. I can totally see Mr. Freeze. I think, yeah, like honestly, like I know you and I have been singing Matt Reeves' praises and his approach to these films, to this universe. He absolutely, I've seen some of the behind the scenes stuff that's been released. He absolutely does the research on literally everything that could possibly be researched on these movies. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if like Mr. Freeze isn't or the Court of Owls isn't what we go after. I wouldn't be surprised if we genuinely get like a serial killer Calendar Man or something like
that.
Let's do it. I don't care. Like Matt Reeves is here, Pattinson is here. That's all I need. That's literally all I need.
So, The Batman took very heavy inspiration from Long Halloween, as is like every Batman movie to some extent, unfortunately. But The Long Halloween in the comics has a sequel comic written by the same people, drawn by the same people, called Dark Victory, in which case there's some character named Dick Grayson that gets introduced in Dark Victory, and the comic ends with Batman swearing Dick Grayson in as Robin with like his hand on a Bible and kind of swearing him under candlelight to basically be Robin. I'm like, that is how I need the Batman 2 to end. Batman swearing in Robin and the two of them going off together in the Batmobile, because that Batmobile, last time I checked, it's a 2-seater. Somebody else could fit in there and not just in the back somewhere. You just see Robin strapped to the turbine, just, I'm breaking him in.
Yes, I could totally see that happening though. Wait, it's like that scene from Lego Batman. It was like, wait, you didn't build more than one seat? No, why would I need more than one seat in here?
Or just National Lampoon's Vacation, and he just drags Robin like they do with the grandma.
Yes. I love it. Either way, I'm excited.
And then hard pivot from the Batman, the dark, edgy, to the bright pink of Barbie, as they showed the first official picture of Margot Robbie as Barbie, and I'm going, well,
yeah,
that is certainly a Barbie. Margot Robbie definitely looks like a Barbie. She's a very beautiful lady. But again, we talked about it in the news topic earlier. The Barbie movie has a surprising amount of actual legitimate talent behind this, with Greta Gerwig directing it. She writing the script along with her husband, Noah Baumbach, who is also an Academy Award nominated director. Margot Robbie is a phenomenal actress. Simu Liu is in it. Will Ferrell. This is a stacked cast that I think is quietly developing into something that could be fantastic. Now, it's just a picture, but it's very much just live action Barbie, right down to the hot pink.
Yeah.
Whatever her car is called, the Barbie Mobile.
It's a Malibu something. I don't know.
Sure.
I don't pay that. I mean, but like
it's
also
a Malibu meal.
My boy Ryan Gosling is in this.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Ryan G.
They're like you said, bro, Ryan G. Why did you say that like you were some like agent that was looking at a list of names?
Hey,
that,
Ryan
like,
G, you haven't been in anything in a while. You want Barbie and then Wolfman? Barbie is secretly a prequel to the Wolfman movie. It'll end with Ryan Gosling ripping everyone apart and everyone's limbs are detached like an actual Barbie's limbs can detach.
So anyway, wow, yeah, okay.
That went places.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait. Dude, it absolutely looks like Barbie. Yes, absolutely. I have no emotional attachment, but like you
Sure,
said,
sure you don't.
I'm into furries.
Quite literally.
Oh gosh. But like
No, he was
at the
always
same
more of a
time,
Bratz person.
ah, because of the cast and the production team behind this film, it's hard to not get excited. And like I don't normally get excited about movies that with like certain casts and like, oh, and this director and this blah, blah, blah. Like, but like, bro, this has potential. I don't know why at any point in time am I like, this there's some hype behind this Barbie film, like, but you know what? I'm interested. I'm absolutely waiting for the trailer. Like, let's go.
So we'll talk briefly about the Flash.
Mm,
Interesting. They didn't bring up Ezra Miller whatsoever. They showed a
hmm
trailer, and we got some idea of some stuff that happens in the trailer. We see a quick shot of Batfleck on a bat cycle. We see multiple versions of the Flash. We see Sasha Kaye, Supergirl. But supposedly the big money shots are we see quite a few shots of Michael Keaton in the bat suit. And they ask
hmm
something about like, are you in? And then Keaton, I'm waiting to see how it plays in the trailer, but reading the
hmm
description, I'm going, are you kidding me? They ask Keaton's Batman, are you in? You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. I'm going, I get that you said that in the first movie, but that's not something you just go around saying as your catchphrase all these years later. Like, at least he didn't just come out and be like, "You want to get nuts? D's nuts." Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
that could have been worse. But that's not a cool catchphrase. I've never thought it was a cool catchphrase. Then I'm just like, Batman 89 actually has a lot of weird catchphrases that they like really try and
Yeah.
make catchphrases. There's like, you want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. Never touch another man's rhubarb. I'm going, what does that mean? Or, you ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight? Like, what? Stop trying to make fetch a thing. Why are you trying to make pale moonlight a thing here? I don't want to get nuts with Michael Keaton. He's already nuts. His eyes creep me out, which is probably good for Batman. But, like,
hmm
is this line good? Or is it too fan servicey? And I do kind of worry about the Flash being too fan servicey. It's like holding up the keys of, oh, look, shiny. Ezra's not in this movie. Shiny. You like Michael Keaton? Shiny. Go fetch.
Yeah. No, yeah. That's exactly what's gonna happen. I don't know why you're surprised. That's exactly what's gonna
I'm
happen
gonna be
now.
on guard for this whole movie. I'll just be like,
Yeah.
I don't like it because you kept Ezra. And then you watch. I'll be sitting there. All hope will seem lost, and I'll enjoy the movie, but I'll hate Ezra Miller still being in it. We'll get to the post credits, and they'll be like, I'm sorry, your universe doesn't have a Superman anymore. What are you talking about? Dun, 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 dun. The return of the Lord and Savior Henry Cavill. I mean, we've heard some pretty questionable things about the future of Superman in the Flash
Yeah.
movie. Don't expect Superman in this movie, as we've got confirmation that Michael Shannon is returning as General Zod.
Mhm.
And we won't give you spoilers here, but I'm sure Josh knows what I'm talking about. Did Henry Cavill, like, piss in someone's front yard that they hate him this much? You can find out what we're talking about specifically, but if the rumors that we're hearing about this movie are true, I know some people are going all up in arms, but I'm going, that happens in a separate universe before Barry goes back and resets everything. We don't know about what happens after he fixes it, so I kind of hope that's the case. But yeah, that's something of note that we heard rumored for a while, that Michael Shannon is returning as General Zod. I don't care. My main question is, does Feora come back? Because let's be real. Feora
That's my girl.
Feora was so much better than Zod. Like, a good death is its own reward. I'm like, that's so much cooler than, oh, we'll find him. Like, I don't care about Michael Shannon's Zod. He's just there. Like, whatever. Oh, snap, you're gone. Bye. I wish you were not in this movie, period. I wish you were Brainiac instead. But Feora, bring Feora
That's
back
my
instead.
that's my girl, bro. Fiora, man, like
It's the hair, isn't it?
I don't know what it is about her. I like strong women. I don't know why I don't date strong women, but here we are.
Next week we're gonna see Josh be lifted up by some woman and be like, I found
I'm in love, and I'm
your
high.
first date is just literally a girl curling you.
Honestly, if a girl can curl me, I would like I would move the earth for her. Like that's
No, she would move the earth for you.
Yeah, she would.
She doesn't do push-ups. She pushes the earth down.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, like it's like I'm kind of with you. Like I didn't care for Michael Jefferson. I didn't care for Shannon's General Zod. Like it just it was a thing that we had to get through, kind of thing. You know what I mean? So like it's fine, whatever. Maybe he'll be the door that gets Henry Cavill back. I don't know. Who knows?
I think like, The Rock will be more than anything.
Truth.
So then they talked about Aquaman. They didn't show a lot of footage just because it's still a long way off, and I'm sure they're still finishing up stuff. But they did reveal some very interesting details. So Black Manta will be the villain. We kind of suspected that. But apparently he's more powerful than ever and has a full-on army. So much so that Aquaman and Orm are going to have to team up to fight him. And I'm going, I'm kind of all about that dynamic. But to me, that's just immediate red flag on the play of, oh, so Orm's going to die in this movie, making a heroic face turn, isn't he? Either that or, holy crap, we really are just stealing everything from Thor, aren't we? In the first movie, my brother was the main villain, but in all subsequent sequels, he's a tweener that we can milk for all that merchandise money and make him a face eventually because we like him. Like, is Orm just Loki in the DC universe basically here?
Not yet.
But we loved Yahya Abdul-Mateen's Black Manta. I cannot wait to see him just be the full-fledged bad guy. We've seen pictures of his updated costume, which his costume in the first movie was perfect, but they made it more perfecter in this time around. I'm just going, yes. Now, important question, Yahya. Are you planning to have offspring in this universe? Because we need Calder. And we are getting a Calder spin-off show, but I don't think they'll be connected just because he's still a little too old to have like a 20-year-old son. Doesn't quite work yet. I'm excited for Aquaman. Notice they didn't mention anything about Mera in this little footage, but they closed out the Warner Brothers presentation with The Rock basically calling over Zoom and being like, "Hey, sorry guys, I'm in Hawaii currently, so I can't make it. Let me check something." Walks around the corner, he just teleports right to the conference. I'm going, that's nice, that's fun. So The Rock was there in person to show off some stuff for Black Adam. So they showed off some teaser trailer, which I would not be surprised if we get soon because that's coming out in October. Supposedly it does not hold back in the brutality, which, you know, you and I have been very skeptical about because Black Adam is not an anti-hero. He's just a bad guy. I know he's joined the Justice League occasionally, but to me, he's a bad guy. The Rock is fine, but I know why I'm going to see this movie. Justice Society!
It's going to be so cool! Baby. It's going to be so cool! I'm so excited. And like even like the descriptions of what happens in the trailer, it gets me amped, man. It's kind of funny that they're like, you know, Dr. Fate does the same move that Doctor Strange does. And you're like, oh, I wonder why that theory can be a potential thing. But yeah, like it just seems exciting. I'm ready for it. I think this is going to end up being a bigger puzzle piece than to the wider universe story than I think we're willing to admit. I think what little we found out about Shazam, because there was a little bit of I think they did a teaser trailer for that, or they did something with Shazam.
There's a Wonder Woman cameo supposedly in Shazam, but they're gonna do it like Henry Cavill of the chop off Gal's head, so they don't actually have to get Gal Gadot and keep that joke running.
I love that. yeah, it's gonna be fun, and that in that trailer's where the Fast Five reference was, and it's just it ages like fine milk. Um, I'm ready for it, but like I just I'm excited to see Hawkman do stuff. Doctor Fate's gonna
Woo!
be amazing. Like, there's just gonna be so much. It's I think stuff that we never thought we'd see on a live action screen is gonna be happening, and I what I appreciate is there's a line in the trailer description where Hawkman, of all people, which my only issue is that it's Hawkman that says this, is heroes don't kill people. And Black Adam turns to him and goes, well, I do. And I was like, I don't know how that makes me feel.
Like, I'm fine with Black Adam saying it, but I kind of with you of like, Hawkman, you're from Thanagar. Y'all murder
Yeah.
people a lot.
Like, bro.
But
No.
also, like, I'm beyond excited because, as y'all could see, I love me some Dr. Fate. Dr. Fate is fantastic. I cannot wait for Pierce Brosnan's Dr. Fate, but what I'm more looking forward to, and I'm taking this to the bank, this is absolutely going to happen in this movie. All hope seems lost. Kent Nelson has lost his helmet. It's almost cracked in half. Hawkman has got some of his wings clipped. He's about to be killed. Pretty sure Vandal Savage will be the bad guy because it just makes sense. Black Adam's about to be killed. When all of a sudden, Jay Garrick comes in, runs, saves the day, swoops in, gets everyone to safety, single-handedly wins the day. It's not a Black Adam movie. Jay Garrick and his amazing friends. Everyone else can suck it.
Oh, yeah, why not? Let's bring it. Why not? Yeah.
And then that gets spun off. Ezra Miller's Flash. Barry Allen is no longer the main DCEU Flash. Jay Garrick gets recast, and he is now the main speedster in the DCEU. I've actually said for a while, don't recast the DCEU. Just use a different speedster. Have Barry still out there doing his thing if you ever wanted to use him, if he ever got cleaned up and everything else. But in the meantime, just be like, oh, hey, the Flash is Wally. Or the Flash is Bart. It's not like Barry's the only speedster out there. People will not get confused. If we could have a movie with 3 Spider-Man, I think you could change the Flash. They're not even close-wise in terms of appearance or characteristics, so I don't think people would get confused and be like, oh, but I thought he was Flash. There can be more than one person that goes wicked fast, okay?
Nah, there's only one speedster. He's the fastest man alive, don't you know? Even though, there's Impulse is faster. But whatever, yeah.
That's every season of The Flash ever. I'm Barry Allen, and I'm the fastest man alive until, there's someone faster than me, in which case Tom Cavanaugh has to tell me, run, Barry, run, in which case I tell myself to run faster, and that solves all of my problems until the next season, in which case I am Barry Allen, and I am the fastest man alive. Oh, wait, there's someone faster than me. And then Iris tells me, run, Barry, run, and then I run faster, and then I win the day. And then the next season, and so on and so forth, for 8 frickin' seasons!
I love how he still said it in this season with Godspeed. I was like, no, stop.
You can literally be 2 places at once.
Like, stop, bro. No, you can't do that. Sorry. Oh man, I'm hoping that we get a more clear direction here pretty soon from Warner Brothers Discovery to see DC projects.
I think we will next CinemaCon. I think the leadership change is still happening for the time being.
Yeah, I think give it a year or so, especially with the whole idea that Kevin Feige has their own little camp, I guess. I forget for Marvel writing and stuff like that. So I can totally see them doing the same thing.
Segue. So Disney released some stuff. They mainly showed footage. They had a lot of footage that they showed off. So like some stuff from Lightyear, some stuff from Doctor Strange. We won't get into all that because we weren't in the room. But it opened with Kevin Feige coming out, actually there in attendance. He's like, hey, sorry, I'm taking a little break because, as Josh mentioned, they're actually currently in the middle of a Marvel writers retreat right now, in which case it said that they are planning the next 10 years of Marvel stories at this retreat. And I'm going, I like that. I like the sound of that. Because if you honestly think about it, as cool as the first 10 years of the MCU were, 10, 14 years now to think about it, because it started back in 2008. That was cool getting like Iron Man, Captain America, Thor. But the next 10 years features the Fantastic Four, college age Spider-Man, the X-Men, potentially Doctor Doom, Sam Wilson as Captain America, and hopefully, the best thing that could happen in the MCU, Rogue being introduced and taking away Captain Marvel's powers, and we never have to see her again.
Dang, hold on, chill. Oh man,
straight for the throat.
Oh man, but that could totally happen, unfortunately. So,
kill.
There's so much that's going to happen over the next decade, so I completely understand why
Secret Wars.
Why would that not be where we go? Like, I don't understand how we not go that direction. You know what I mean?
I think 2 or 3 weeks after. Okay, maybe not 2 or 3 weeks, but I was about to say 2 or 3 weeks after Doctor Strange. I bet we get an announcement, but I'll shift my timeline. We got some announcements from Disney here. I think they're going to save a bulk of their announcements for something that's coming in a few months. D23, Disney's big convention. I bet you Kevin Feige comes on that stage at D23. Sorry, we aren't going to have an Avengers movie for a very long time. But all the characters you know and love and more will team up together in Marvel's Secret Wars. In which case, they haven't announced that yet because it'll feature a lot of the characters that will be introduced in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Because there's some weird rumors out there going around of certain characters aren't showing up in Doctor Strange 2 because they might be holding out to show up in Secret Wars because, oh, sweet Jesus, if Secret Wars, we can get, like, everyone to come back and get, like, Captain America or Iron Man to come back and fight Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. Ooh.
Oh, dude.
Or just the teaser teaser trailer for Secret Wars is Hugh Jackman in Wolverine costume, opening the claws, cut to black, Secret Wars.
Dude. I'd piss my pants right there. I'd be so sad.
I don't know if it's piss, but okay.
I mean, yeah. So, but like at the same time, like there's always going to be a part of me that like completely is okay with never seeing Hugh Jackman ever again in the role of Wolverine.
Here's the loophole. Here's the loophole, though. The Wolverine that we know and love can stay dead. He can be a variant. He can be a different universe's Wolverine.
I know. We say the farewell in Logan is so solid and so earned and perfect. I don't want to ruin that. Not ruin it, but like taint it with it being like, all right, cool, variant time. Like to me, that just it seems a little dirty. I don't know why. And I don't say that because I'm like, yeah, so bring in Tom Hardy. No. I'm just saying.
Oh, so you're saying you don't want Tom Hardy as Wolverine?
I'm accepting the fact that it'll never happen. Yes. But yeah, like I think if you're going to introduce Wolverine, it might be time to pass the torch to somebody.
The Human Torch?
I know it. Bro, no. I think the big cameo is if Chris Evans comes back as Human Torch.
I have been saying that's going to happen forever.
I know you have. I just like that is an opportunity that should not be missed. Like, let's go, baby, let's go.
But yeah, so the Secret Wars thing is me speculating that that'll be in D23. But they're mapping out the next 10 years, and it's crazy to me what they have to work with now. Like I said, X-Men, Fantastic Four. I don't think Galactus yet, but maybe on the back burner. He's. Galactus is coming. A Silver Surfer movie sooner rather than later, please. And of course, if you guys ever get stuck on what you should do with the Fantastic Four movie, I have the perfect idea for you. It involves Mole Man. If you want, further ideas, I've done a full-on pitch for that. First one's free.
But if you want a second one, I believe
Nope, Josh
there's
never
a second
did one.
pitch.
Nope, Josh never did one.
What? No, I did one. No, wait. No, don't bury me.
Call me Triple H, mother effer.
Chill out, Vince McMahon. Oh my gosh, I'm trying hard here.
You're not Austin Theory. I don't like you. I don't get his love of Austin Theory. I really don't.
I don't either. Don't either.
Wee Man is considered one of the greatest wrestlers of all time now.
Let's go, baby.
Everyone's super confused right now. They're going, Wee Man and WWE. Just Wee Man WrestleMania. Look it up. It's great.
It's fantastic.
The other thing worth noting is they showed Avatar footage. So anyway, the Universal panel. We'll talk about Avatar, but God, do I not care? And I know some people are just like, you'll care when it comes out. No, I won't.
I won't.
I hated it then. I'm going to hate it now. They'll be like, oh, but James Cameron has been working on this forever, and they're going to re-release the first Avatar with upgraded graphics and sound. I'm going, boo-hoo, I don't care. The movie still sucks. I didn't like it then. I won't like it now because it's missing something important. Frickin' narrative. Interesting characters. I don't care about ponytail hookups. I really, in all the senses of the word hookup there, I don't care. I don't understand how Avatar is the #1 movie of all time. I really do not get it. And supposedly the footage looked cool. But to me, there's more to a movie than just looking cool. Sure, It could look as close to like a PS5 or even beyond how good a PS5 looks on the big screen. I was worried when they're like, yeah, we're going to show you this footage. Here, put on these 3D glasses. I'm going, oh, God, we're going to have to go back to this. Because I feel like after Avatar came out, there's this like rise of 3D movies. Everything came out in 3D, whether it should have been or not. Looking at you, Clash of the Titans and Wrath of the Titans and Dread, Amazing Spider-Man. And we're finally getting out of that trend that we don't really see 3D movies anymore. I'm worried that this is going to reawaken the beast that is 3D that no one asks for. I hate 3D movies. The only thing I hate more than 3D movies is Avatar. And the only thing I hate more than Avatar is Avatar in 3D. Why is this a thing? Stop making this a thing. Just
yes.
I know people are excited. That's cool. Just a movie has to be more than just pretty looking for me to be interested. And the first one, cool. It's CG, but nowadays we see stuff like that all the time. I'm not impressed by visual effects anymore. I need a good story to hook me in, and I don't have faith that it's going to do that.
Yeah, no, not at all. I mean, the first one has definitely aged well as far as its graphics, but like at the same time, like that's all. Like literally, I think what bothers me is people are like, yeah, it's so amazing. I mean, yeah, the story's basically just like cowboys and Indians, but it looks so good. Yeah, it's literally Pocahontas, guys. Like, don't sit here and pretend like it's some great stuff. And to some like level, I don't need a like a S tier level story. What I need is an interesting story at all. Like, come on, man, give me something I have not even like that I haven't seen before, but just like tell an interesting story.
And the fact that we're getting 4 sequels to this, I'm just like,
woo!
Why? I feel like this is just like James Cameron going, you know what I've always been obsessed with? Water and under the ocean. Y'all remember the abyss? Like I've wanted to make water blue people. I'm going, that's cool and all, but this is a long time ago. I think the people that are excited for this are underestimating how much time has passed. And I think tastes might have changed because the first Avatar was 2008, 2009? That was a really long time ago in movie lingo. Like, Avatar did not stay in the cultural bubble. Once it left theaters, it was, people were like, oh yeah. The most people ever talked about it after it was in theaters was that frickin' Ryan G commercial, SNL sketch with Papyrus.
Ryan G.
Bringing it back, man.
Oh man, love the running jokes. But yeah, like it just.
And they brought back the Papyrus font for this one.
Screw you and your Papyrus font. Oh my gosh. I will try. I will try to care. I just can't guarantee anything.
So, lastly, is one that, as we're recording this, just wrapped up. They just wrapped up with like their big headliner, which, shocker, was Jurassic World Dominion footage, which doesn't surprise me at all. I'm looking forward to Jurassic World Dominion quite a bit. I just need it to be better than Fallen Kingdom, because Fallen Kingdom, to me, is the worst Jurassic Park movie in the entire franchise. I don't care what y'all say about Jurassic Park 2 and 3. Fallen Kingdom's worse. Also, I'm not the most invested in Jurassic Park as a franchise. That being said, I only need one thing from Dominion. I need Dr. Grant and Dr. Sattler to kiss. Why didn't they do that in the first Jurassic Park? Have Sattler and Grant finally hook up. Why was that not a thing? That was like their whole arc of like, I don't know if I want kids. By the end of it, I like kids. Are we getting together? Nah, in Jurassic Park 3, I'm clearly married to somebody else and have a child. Like, nah. But now that 2 and 3 aren't canon, we can get Grant and Sattler together. And Goldblum can... Goldblum is fine just being Goldblum.
He's going to be he's got
kids already. He even said he has kids, I think, in the first one. If I remember correctly.
I don't remember.
Even if the first one is the one that's canon. I'm excited for Jurassic World. Again, just be better than Fallen Kingdom. So when they opened the panel, they're like, yeah, we're really committed to the theater going experience, which I'm going, oh, so you want them to forget about Sing 2 and how that was your movie, Sing 2.
Yes.
Being the shot across the bow of, oh yeah, we're releasing this straight to streaming and theaters on the same day. We're the one that broke the hole in the dam that let the floodgates come crashing through. No, we want you to forget about that. We're releasing 25 movies in theaters this year, the most of any studio. Going, yeah, just keep brown-nosing there, and maybe someday they'll forgive you. But that's cool. 25 movies from Universal will be going to theaters. So maybe like 5 of them will be good. Okay, not bad odds. One that I don't know will be good or not, but I'll still cross my fingers. Halloween Ends. Again, I'll die on the hill that Halloween Kills is not that bad. If you think Halloween Kills is the worst, you clearly have not watched the entire franchise.
Yeah.
Like
there's some doozies, buddy.
Halloween 5 and 6 exist. Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 exists. But so they actually had Jamie Lee Curtis come out. She said, this is a franchise and a character that I've been attached to for 45 years. I'm super excited to finish the story. And they said, this is Laurie's last stand. This movie's going to F you up. And I'm going, please don't do a Halloween Resurrection and kill Laurie Strode within the first 10 minutes of the movie. But I'm worried that that's what might happen.
Nah.
Because there's already been a lot of people saying, including people within the movie, that Halloween Ends is going to be very controversial. Going, well, Kills was controversial, so good luck with that. I'm still excited for Ends. I highly doubt it's the end of the franchise. If anything, it's the end of Michael and Laurie's story, and probably Andy. Not Andy. That's the actress that plays her. The granddaughter. Allison. It'll probably be the end of Allison and Michael's story too. Just close off Strode's entirely. I'm more curious, how are we gonna quote unquote definitively kill Michael this time? We've cut his head off. We've shot him repeatedly while singing "Ooh, what you say." We've set him on fire. We've dropped him off a balcony.
But
we've had Paul Rudd inject him with what looked like venom from Batman. He gets revived by a voodoo man. He gets electrocuted in the balls by Busta Rhymes while saying "trick or treat, mother effer."
Ever best, and
Uh,
which is still the best Halloween scene
so
of all
what's gonna
time.
top that? Is he gonna put in a pod and he gets launched into space? Where plot twist, this takes place in the same universe as Jason X. Freddy versus Jason
Stop!
X.
No,
No,
no, no, no,
Michael
no, no,
X
no, no,
versus
no,
Jason X.
no,
Michael
no,
X
no.
Jason.
No, 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 no. No, thank you. I don't. What's interesting is they can reuse some of those kills because most of them aren't canon anymore. So there's that. Um, I don't know, man. Look, we'll see. I don't know how you're going to be more controversial than kills. Even though I don't think kills is technically that controversial. I
It
think
is
people are
with the Evil
just.
Dies Tonight stuff.
I
Which even then, they
guess.
don't say Evil Dies Tonight that much.
No, maybe once or twice.
They say
Maybe.
it a little bit, but I think that got blown out of proportion because it was in all the trailers. And granted, that subplot is kind of stupid. Of let's just kill the inmate. I'm going. It's not the worst subplot. Like again, I've seen Halloween 4 plenty of times where you have a bunch of drunk rednecks literally shoot a child in the wood in a bush. I'm going. Let's not forget that thing happened.
Yeah, I think it was too realistic, and I think people aren't willing to admit that that's totally mob mentality and totally how that actually works. So, I kind of get it, but at the same time, um, I can totally see them being like, "Hey, this is going to be controversial," or "Hey, this is really going to mess with you," just to kind of like put some padding there so that people aren't like, I guess, taken aback. You know
So
what I mean? Like, kind
is
of
there
cover their butts a little bit.
is there anything in this that could be a step too far for Halloween for you, or like will immediately take you out of it?
I don't think so, honestly. I mean, if we're doing this, what, like six years later?
No, real time,
Oh,
real time.
oh no, that's right. They're going to be going through COVID and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there's some stuff that could go too far there. Well, we will see, I guess. I hope when they say this movie's controversial, it's not because they're like they go and drop some COVID takes in 2024. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of stupid. Like,
It comes out
really?
this
All
year,
right.
2023. No,
That's
2022. I
what I
mean,
said.
um, I think what would take me out of it is either, and I don't think they would do this, but if they're like, let's hop aboard the multiverse wagon of 1978
No.
Laurie teams up with 2018's Laurie, which teams up with 1998's Laurie from H2O, an army of Lauries and Jamie and a resurrected Dr. Loomis. They've already proved that they can bring Loomis back. All of them fight an army of Michaels. It's the Michael from 1, 4, Rob Zombies. They all come out Portal style. That would take me out of it. I also, if somehow Michael is cured, that would take me out of it. If like all of a
Yeah,
sudden,
agreed.
like, oh, I feel bad, I just killed a whole bunch of people. Like that would be stupid. Something that I know people, just a stupid fun fan theory out there that I know would piss some people off, but I would freaking love it. Is that the mask that Michael Myers wears is a silver shamrock mask, tying it into Halloween 3 and making that canon, and the mask is what makes him evil. Which is why he gets like superpowered and kills. It's very much hinted at in Kills that the mask is what gives him his power. But I'm going, you can kind of shoot that down because he had a different mask when he killed Judith Myers, but he had a mask on, to be fair. So it's
Yeah.
something mask related. I'm too much of a fan of this franchise to be like completely taken out of it unless they just do some completely bonker stuff like send him to space or time travel, or Busta Rhymes cameos in this.
Okay, but actually, no, honestly, like, I don't think, as long as they don't be like, no, Busta Rhymes is here and it's the Busta Rhymes from that Halloween movie, you know what I mean? Then
It's
I'd be
Busta
like,
Rhymes playing Busta Rhymes as a cameo.
exactly. Like, I'd be like,
Actually,
okay, cool.
what would take me out? I don't
Yeah.
think they would do this because they almost did it actually in Halloween H2O. Have Mike Myers cameo in the movie. That almost happened in H2O. If that happens, I'm immediately taken out. I'm going, screw you, Danny McBride. I don't think that'll happen. But another thing that came across that I'm like, oh, I'm interested in that, is that there's a movie called Demeter. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's the name of a ship. It is the ship that brought Dracula to America. And I'm going, oh,
Okay.
that's going to be a movie directed by the guy that did Scariest Stories to Tell in the Dark. And it's coming out January of 2023. So close. Weird that they didn't show any footage. I really, really enjoy Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. I think it's got fantastic visuals to it. They absolutely nailed the designs. I think this is an interesting idea. I didn't read up enough about it because, again, it's as it's being reported. But supposedly, like, this has been in development for a really long time. You know what else has been in development for a really long time that we still don't have? A Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark sequel. More Scary to Tell in the Dark. Or even more Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. I need that. I like Dracula. I like good Dracula. And I feel like Dracula's been underrepresented lately. We got Dracula Untold. Yippee skippy.
Yay.
This could be cool. Because, Josh, you're not getting your Robert Eggers Nosferatu movie.
I know.
Anytime
and it makes
soon.
me sad. It makes me so sad.
Because can you imagine Anya Taylor-Joy as Mina Harker?
I just God, don't do that to me. There's so much
Robert
good
Pattinson
stuff.
as Jonathan Harker?
God.
Willem Dafoe? Willem Dafoe as Van Helsing?
Oh no. Oh no. God, that would be so good. Stop. No, don't get me hyped up for this. Is like me getting myself hyped up about Tom Hardy as Wolverine. Like, it'll never happen, but it'd be cool.
Oh, you mean like a Redwall movie?
Stop.
What you say?
Why do you make me so sad? But like at the same time, I think if you're gonna do Dracula, it's really, really nice to do it in a different vein, different vein, in a different way than
has
been
Snickers
done before. Yeah. It's just nice. I approve.
Better yet, what I've heard is Disney and Universal have come together that at the end credits of this Dracula movie, we're going to have Oscar Isaac cameo and says, "Where's my money, Dracula?" Moon Knight Dracula crossover confirmed.
Stop. Oh my gosh. I won't even lie. When I saw the first, it's like either the first or the second. Yeah, it's the first episode when he wakes up in that field with a broken jaw and there's that big castle in the background. I was like,
Where's my money, Dracula?
I just love. I'm honestly, I'm really excited. I haven't seen today's episode, but I'm really excited about where it's going.
Hippos. Okay, honestly though, in reference to Moon Knight, which would make you cheer louder or pop harder? Moon Knight doing the Dracula joke of "Where's my money," or Owen Wilson and Loki finally saying, "Wow."
The wow. Like, not even a question. Not even a question. Like, and part of that, I think, is we've had a whole season of Disney Plus that is dedicated to the whole fan base being like, is he going to say it? Is he going to say it? Now?
Like the end of Loki's season, whenever Loki ends, it's just going to be an army of Lokis like Endgame. Dun, 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 dun. Is that everyone? Turns to Owen Wilson. Oh, wow. Loki's assemble! They all just charge into battle. Wow! All of them are on jet skis. Flaming jet skis.
I don't know, man. The pizza wagon was a good touch. I enjoyed that a lot.
No, he either says he goes into battle with the jet skis, either wow, ka-chow.
Oh my gosh. Or he at least goes, you know what? Thunder always comes after lightning.
And then Thor comes down.
God, no! What have I done? I've created a monster.
Oh
man.
Yes. Well, have you guys been following the CinemaCon news? You watch, there's gonna be some huge stuff that comes out of Paramount.
Oh yeah, I'll watch it.
I doubt it. They'll go, "Hey, we survived another year. Please keep us in business." But are you guys following along with the CinemaCon news of all the stuff that we covered today? What are you most excited for? Is there anything that you thought we should have talked about that we didn't? Let us know in the comments below. Always like hearing from you guys. And as always, if you like what you hear and you want to hear more, subscribe to us on whatever audio platform you're listening to us on, whether it's iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, or YouTube. And if you haven't already, subscribe to us on YouTube. Help us get to 700 subscribers. That's our goal for the end of the year. And as always, stay sharp, movie guys and gals.